out in the social work field, how to care for yourself so you can care for others, part of our annual SNHU Career Day, a free virtual conference for students, alumni, faculty, and staff from around the globe. My name is Rich Grant, your host for this session. At SNHU, creating an inclusive and accessible learning environment is a priority. Your experience is crucial, and if you require accommodations, here are the appropriate contacts. For online students, email oac@snhu.edu or call 866-305-9430. Campus students, email cac@snhu.edu or 603-644-3118. Then SNHU staff and faculty can email hr@snhu.edu. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. Now let's learn about our presenter to get started. Chapreese Pennington Willis has been with SNHU since 2019 and is currently a career advisor. Chapreese started her professional career teaching high school, then started with the state of New Hampshire as a case tech for 1 year, assisting clients with applying for public assistance. Chapreese then became a child protective social worker for 7 years, and after that, an adult protective social worker for the next 7 years. Chapreese would leave the state and work as a long-term care social worker for Fairview Nursing Home. Chapreese earned her Master of Science in Organizational Leadership and a Certificate in Human Resource Management in 2021. Chapreese loves life, laughing, and helping people and her students to be the best version of themselves every day. Thank you, Chapreese, for presenting today. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Rich. I really appreciate the introduction. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Chapreese Pennington Willis, and I want to talk to you today about how to avoid burnout when being in the social work field and how to care for yourself while caring for others. So, imagine pouring your heart into helping others, yet feeling your own spark dwindle to ashes. Social work demands dedication, yes, but not at the cost of your own well being. Let's face it, the social work field is intense. It's a roller coaster of emotions, demanding schedules, and heavy responsibility. And while that passion to help fuels us, it can also leave us vulnerable to burnout, a state of chronic exhaustion and emotional depletion that threatens not just ourselves, but our clients. Burnout is like carrying a backpack overloaded with stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. It weighs you down physically, mentally, and emotionally. Think fatigue, headaches, sleepless nights, and that constant pit in your stomach. But it's not just physical. It can strain your relationships, erode your sense of purpose, and even lead to depression. When you're running on empty, it's difficult to be fully present and offer the support your clients need. Imagine missing a crucial detail because of fatigue, your own emotional turmoil overshadowing a client's crisis. Burnout can compromise your effectiveness, even your ethical judgment, potentially harming the very people you're dedicated to helping. Burnout isn't just your personal struggle, it's a silent epidemic criminally crippling the social work field. We lose valuable professionals, face high turnover rates, and struggle to keep up with the ever growing need for support. Ultimately, it weakens our ability to make a real difference in the world. But this doesn't have to be our reality. By prioritizing self care, acknowledging the warning signs, and building resilience, we can combat burnout and keep the flames of our passion burning bright. In this presentation, we'll explore practical strategies and resources to help you navigate the challenges of social work and cultivate your own well being so you can continue making a positive impact for yourself, your clients, and the entire profession. So let's start with a few things. Know your triggers. Be mindful of your personal experience. Now, we've all suffered traumas, heartbreaks, and sadness. You will hear the same stories with variations from different people. Every time you hear a new story, you can be traumatized again from your own personal experiences. If you don't have those in check, that can be traumatic and it can lead to burnout. Know your limits. That simply is know when you've had enough or when you can't take it anymore. Make certain that whoever is in charge is aware of that. It's not a bad thing to say, I need a break, or I need to scale back, or maybe you need to catch up with your caseload because there have been a lot of things that are going on, which can make it very challenging for you to do your job. Speaking up and speaking up early will allow you to have that space to figure out what you need to do and how to do it properly. Now, being careful of your own biases. Be careful of your own biases if you suffer from traumatic experience. Depending on what situation you're in at work, it can cloud your judgment if you're constantly judging a situation rather than assessing the situation. This can lead to burnout because you're not looking at it from a healthy perspective. And therefore, it doesn't give you a way to find other solutions to some of the problems that you could help solve. That can be exhausting. And when you're running out of different ways and solutions to help people, it can make you feel like you're not useful. Again, that can then lead to that burnout. Some things that I always want to let everyone know is you can't save everyone. Everyone doesn't disclose. The sooner you understand this, the better. This will prevent you from taking things personally if someone doesn't tell you the truth, disclose all of the information, or share anything at all. Another piece is don't take work home with you. It is very tempting to want to talk about work at home, but it can be very exhausting for the people around you who, one, do different work or need more help understanding the work that you do. Hearing about it all day, all the time can just be exhausting for them and for you. The other piece of that is you can't take clients home with you. I can't tell you how many times I would hear someone say, I want to take them home, and I could tell that they really meant it. Or someone who may have tried. It's not professional, it's not healthy, and you want to consider the dangers that you could be putting your family in by doing things of that sort. The other piece is be kind to yourself. Keep in mind that these problems existed well before your involvement. Don't blame yourself or pressure yourself about something that was caused by someone else that you had nothing to do with. So when it comes to the landscape of social work, consider the population that you'll work with. The reason why you want to consider the population is your traumatic experiences. The saying is, if you do social work, it's usually because you want to help people or because you've been through some things. So you feel that you can relate, therefore making it easier for you to be able to help someone else that's gone through it. So you can work with children, you can work with seniors, you can work with mental health, you can work with disabled, you can work with drug addiction or alcohol addiction, you can work with people who have been incarcerated, or you can work with domestic violence. And I know that there are others. What you want to say to yourself is, what do I feel comfortable working with? Who do I feel comfortable working with? This way, it'll help you really be able to know what your limits are and where you can find yourself feeling that you can do the most valuable help. Knowing that ahead of time and having a grasp on that, again, will give you those tools to help you do the work that you need and not feel that burnout as time goes on. It's really important to consider what you've gone through and how you really want to help anyone that's been in your situation. Are you going to be prepared to deal with all of that on a regular basis? And if not, it's okay, because you want to make certain that if you are in this field, that you're in it for as long as you can be, and that you can be healthy while doing it. Now, building healthy boundaries. So, I always have to talk about professional communication. You cannot cry with your clients, and you have to be very cautious about the personal information you share. If you're crying with your clients and sharing personal information over and over, it can be re-traumatizing for you, and it's exhausting, and it will definitely lead to burnout. The other thing is, it's just not professional. There are things we may want to share because we think it'll help our case, but we must be mindful of what people can use against us. If you're doing that same thing over and over and you're finding those same actions from people always blaming you or finding ways, that again can lead to that burnout and that exhaustion. Safety is always key, and we must always be mindful of just the little things. Being mindful of the clothing that you wear, being mindful of your hair, being mindful of your jewelry, weapons, and anything that can make you a target. If you are constantly feeling in a state of fright when you're going to do a home visit, again, that's going to have that buildup, and that is going to make you burn out. I would never wear my hair like this if I was going on a home visit. It could be easy for someone to grab. My necklace could be something for someone to pull. And you also don't want to give anyone any leg up on you about anything that they could use against you later. And setting limits on emotional expression. You have to leave work at work. You have to understand that your family doesn't want to hear everything about your job or all the time. I understand that this can be one of those things that can be really challenging to do, but find coworkers that you can vent with. They already do the work, they understand it, they know it, and they can relate. But also be mindful of that, because you don't want work to only be with your coworkers about that type of situation and that you can't talk about anything else. Again, you keep talking about the same thing that's not positive over and over again. It becomes exhausting and it burns you out. The other thing to keep in mind is doing things with coworkers outside of work that are fun. That'll help break that only talking about work all the time, and they'll help you get to know them more and help you get to know them more, and building that other kind of relationship. The other thing too is, with being safe, I was very fortunate in the department that I worked in that we could buddy up. So being able to go out with another person help relieve some of that stress, because again, the stress will help lead to that burnout of me feeling safe, me knowing I had another set of eyes, and making me feel more confident in what I was doing. So if you have that as a way, definitely use it. Now, cultivating resilience. I say that while social work can be very challenging, it is also very rewarding. It is a great feeling to know that you were able to help someone when the time was right, when things lined up the right way. So, a couple of things that I always like to recommend to anyone going into this field that I actually did myself. I would never recommend something that I didn't do. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. Have, keep, or get a sense of humor. I'm telling you, it's going to be for the best. Watch funny shows or watch funny movies, anything to uplift you, especially if you've had a bad day. Ask a friend or someone you know to make you laugh. I would call plenty of my friends and say, listen, I just need you to make me laugh. Just say something so that it could get me out of my own headspace. And once I did that, I could feel better. And then I was ready to go on with my day. Read uplifting books. If you are a reader, then having books that lift you up, make you feel good, self-help books, anything of that sort, that will help eventually. Find your zen. I am all about treat yourself. So if you can, treat yourself to a spa day, whatever a spa day may mean for you. It could be doing something at home, it could be going to a facility, but do something whenever you can just to make you feel good and to release a lot of those tensions. A massage is a great way to do that as well. And whether someone else can give you a massage or you can pay for one, find a way to do that. Another thing is celebrate your wins. You will have them. No matter how small, when you celebrate one thing or anything that has made you feel like this was a good day, I promise you, you will feel that buildup and that momentum, and you'll feel as if you can do anything. Keeping in mind, you can't save everyone, but it is a good feeling to make you want to come back and do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. The other thing I always like to talk about, take vacations. Listen, jobs give you vacation time. Use it. I would see so many people wanting to save up, or I don't know what they were waiting for, but when you don't take time for yourself, it takes time away from the things that you could actually do to make it better. And I'm not saying that you have to spend thousands or spend any money to go on vacation. You can do a staycation, but taking a break, taking that time to just walk away and not have to think about it, it recharges you. It makes you feel like, again, I can come back another day and I can do it again. It is extremely important to take your vacation time and to get away to do something that you enjoy and that's for you. When you're a social worker, you're constantly giving to others. Make certain that you give back to yourself. And another great way is exercise. It is a really great time to just walk. You don't have to do anything strenuous, but going for a walk in the park, just kind of looking at the sky, looking at trees. It can seem a little corny, but looking at those smaller things and thinking about your own life, thinking about your great family, your great friends, you have good health. Reflecting back on what's going well for you will also help you to avoid that burnout and to see the positive of what's going on. Let's face it, this is the job where you are going to hear some really hard situations. It can be very demanding on yourself. Being able to have gratitude and look at what you have and how you're feeling will definitely help you feel better on those days. One trick that my husband and I had, because we weren't allowed to talk about work at home for long periods of time. You can borrow it or you can find something that works for yourself. But on my drive home, I would think about my day and think, okay, what do I want to share with my husband? And we only gave each other within 10 to 20 minutes to talk about work. So, of course, on that ride home, I really had to focus on what was I really going to talk about once I got there. We had a shrub right in front of our house. And so the deal was you got home, whatever you were going to talk about, you brought it in the house, but everything else you had to leave on the shrub. You had to leave it there. You got in, you had your 10 to 20-minute talk. Sometimes it could go to 30. You can make exceptions to the rules. But once it was over, it was done. And now we had the opportunity to just focus on ourselves. Once the next day came and we were walking out the door, pick everything else up off the shrub. I got back in my car and then I could deal with it when I got at work. I know it may seem like that doesn't do anything or how could that help, but knowing that we would just unload everything onto that shrub, it actually made us feel good. And I felt like it didn't contaminate our home. You want to make certain that you're not bringing that into your healthy household so that you're not burning yourself out. So, those are some of the tips and strategies that I like to use and that I like to share. And I tell everyone you want to burn bright, not out. By prioritizing self care and building resilience, you can illuminate the world with your passion without ever letting your flame extinguish. Embark on this journey of self care and inspire others to do the same. Share this with other people. Tell them about it. Try it yourself. And if it works, then you definitely want to share it. Together, let's build a vibrant community of resilient social workers who can truly change the world one client, one self care practice at a time. Thank you so much for your attention and thank you for your time. Have a good one.
Thank you, Chapreese. That was an excellent presentation. So interesting and lots of great advice. So our contact information is on this slide, as well as other important links to our content and career services. Please check out Handshake for any other events hosted by SNHU Career Services. Also, SNHU offers its graduates a lifetime benefit of career advising services, so contact us at any point in the future. So thank you all for reviewing and viewing this recording of Avoid Burnout in the Social Work Field, How to Care for Yourself so you can care for others with Chapreese Pennington Willis. Hope you all have a great day.